excited for future. I guess the future of Xbox. Like they realize they need more first-party things. They need to do more, and so yeah.
Well, see, I had the initiative written down, but I thought it meant it was an initiative to build their first party.
Yeah, no, that's a brand new Microsoft Studios developer.
I see.
Okay, and that was a former Tomb Raider boss. So all right, it's exciting. Like, I'm very excited for that.
So we should move on to the final game of the Xbox conference because we've spent quite a lot of time here. But you'll see very soon why we spent so much time on Xbox.
It was the best. I think it won E3.
Yeah.
But I will say, okay, so Phil Spencer's up there. He's talking. He's like, "Thank you for coming." Blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, the lights go out, and it like cuts to this weird like I don't know static shit in the screen, and then it says like loading. Blah blah blah. It looks like somebody's hacking into something. And it says E3 trailer. They click it, and then sure enough. What does it end up being, Fred?
Cyberpunk 2077.
We finally got a fucking real trailer that somewhat describes the story and the atmosphere and the world we're going to be living in from Project Red, the developers of the Witcher series. They have finally unveiled via the Xbox conference their new game, Cyberpunk 2077. What did you think about this?
This trailer gives us what I think are a lot of hints as to what we will be able to do in the world. And I put a little list together of things that happen in the trailer that I think will be actual gameplay elements.
Such as?
Would you like to hear them?
Yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, I get the idea that maybe this is not on Earth. I'm not really sure. But anyway, there are a lot of street gangs. There are a lot of big corporations. You get the idea that maybe you can kind of affiliate with whichever one, or maybe you're on ground level, like, in the street gangs, and you kind of have to fight your way up or fight corporations. But there are a lot of vehicles. I can only assume that maybe there's going to be some racing in the game. It makes me almost feel like this might be in the same vein as like a Saints Row or GTA or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of transportation happening here.
Apparently there was some gameplay shown today. I have not obviously seen that, but
okay. I'll have to look. I mean, I've done as much research as I could with all the games we had to talk about, but there's also stuff like people playing pool. There's someone playing VR games. There's a guy boxing like a robot.
Yeah,
so like robot fighting.
When they're playing pool, there was a cowboy dude that looked like an android because he had red glowing eyes. That looked fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It does say at the very beginning of the trailer, in 2077 they voted my city the worst place to live in America. It doesn't. It says Night City is the name of the city, so
okay.
I guess it isn't.
So
in
maybe
our
it is
world,
on
but
Earth. Then.
Either way, it's like a very, I don't know, post-cybernetic fucking world. I don't know, in the same vein as maybe Blade Runner, but a little bit more with cybernetic shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of that movie AI by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
very similar to that as well.
Right. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of like augmentation going on. They're like putting some new like eye into somebody's head, like literally like ripping their eye out and putting like a new eye in.
Go check out the trailer. It looks great.
Yeah, look it up. They said no microtransactions. DLC is a sure thing, but there is still no release date as of now.
And to me, I'm like, take your fucking time because
take your time.
Witcher 3 was great. They took their time. Whatever. Blood and Wine from The Witcher 3 that looked amazing. That DLC, and if they do DLC like that, I'm totally fine with it. It's like story driven DLC. Although they did say, I believe this was going to be a co-op experience, which is cool as fuck to me.
Did they?
Yeah, I believe
cool.
I read that. So, yeah.
Speaking of Witcher 3, before we move on, their very initial screen that glitched out before they showed this trailer. If you pause it right there, they put a list of what was it like
50,
a dozen?
Yeah, I think it was like 15 download
Witcher
codes
3.
on Xbox for The Witcher 3 with all DLC. And so the first people that actually put those into their Xbox accounts were able to download the full game for free. That's awesome.
And a ton of people did immediately, so they were gone instantly.
I'm too stupid to pick up on things like that, but
I didn't even think about it.
I mean, we're idiots.
Moving.
Yeah, we gotta move. Okay, the great news about this is the next two press conferences are pretty quick.
Yes.
So I would say, let's start.
Which one should we start with?
Let's start with Square, and then we'll end at least on a high note with Devolver.
Square is the fastest of all.
Moving on, we have to touch on PlayStation real quick, Fred.
Oh,
I
man.
gotta say real quick. That's because there wasn't much to touch on in regards to the PlayStation conference. Sony,
Outside of the 4 games that they said they were going to focus on, there were literally like 3 other little ones.
yeah, which one I was very excited about. Okay, so let me explain to you how they start the Sony conference. Sony, you go in, like you're watching it, you're like, okay, this looks interesting. It's like a small little like church area with these strung up lights everywhere. I was like, this is very interesting because it's not a typical auditorium they would usually use. So Sean Layden comes up on the stage. If you're not familiar with Sean Layden, let me explain to you how he talks. He might be a very nice guy, but the way he talks always is interesting to me because he'll talk really fast, then pause. Let me give you an example. So he'd be like, welcome to the PlayStation conference. Tonight, we're going to talk about this game, this game, this game. Please enjoy. Hold on to your seats. Hold on to your butts, as Samuel Jackson would say on the Jurassic Park movies. Are you familiar with those movies? Anyway, please look at this game called The Last of Us. And then it'll just fucking disappear. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to like kind of give you an idea of how he talks. It's always kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. But either way, this guy comes out. He's like, watch this fucking thing. It's The Last of Us, which looks amazing. Last of Us, you should watch it. That's the one thing I'll say. Sony had great games, the ones they focused on. They just didn't focus on enough. But Last of Us was a great way to start the show. It was probably the first 15, 20 minutes of the show. Then, after they get done, Sean Layden comes up and he goes, thank you for watching. We will now move on to the next area. And then I'm just like, what's happening now? And then I see everyone getting up. And I'm like, is this the end of the fucking what's happening here? Then they cut to in the middle of daylight, because they're in fucking California, these 2 or 3 dipshits on a fucking panel and just at a desk talking like it's the post show. And I'm like, what is happening here? Are you fucking, what is happening? And they're like, well, everybody moves to the next location. We will just be discussing that and some other things about PlayStation. And I'm like, did you just fucking cut away from a great show to 3 dipshits?
Maybe there was
talking?
like a church service and they needed to clear the space
I understand
out.
why they did it, because they're like, because literally the environment that they had everybody in while they were watching the Last of Us trailer was set to the scene you're watching in the trailer. That's fine. That's cool. I don't give a fuck.
But like from a viewer's perspective, I couldn't tell they were in a church.
Well, to me, and can you imagine being one of the people there? You're just like, you're in the media. You're like, okay, we just sat down. And they go, we are now moving to the next area. My name is Sean Layden. And like they fucking just move, and everybody's like, okay, I guess we're fucking walking across the street now. So for 20 minutes, you're just watching these people, and they did show some trailers, but it was like trailers of games we'd already seen before, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, literally, okay, I couldn't even get through Ghost of Tsushima. It didn't even, and here's the thing. I'm sorry, I can't even get a sentence out of me because I feel really bad. You can tell the work that they put into this game. It just does not look good.
It looked all right to me.
Any game where you can slash the shit out of somebody with a sword and they just stand there like you didn't, like, I can't get into it.
I feel bad a little bit for talking about Sean Layden that way. He's probably a really nice guy. I just think that he seems a little uppity to me. Like he's like thinks he's better than you. He's like, I'm part of Sony. We're better than you. We made some mistakes on PlayStation 3. We're not making those mistakes anymore. We're actually financially doing well. So go fuck yourself, Fortnite fans.
Well, now they're making mistakes.
Yeah.
That Fortnite shit. Oof,
well, that and then
that's not going to go well.
Their press conference was just. I thought it was weird. I don't know. Other people, I guess, thought it was okay. I thought it was fucking weird. They talked about Ghost of Tsushima. I fucking fucked that name up. Ghost of Tsushima. I realized, by the way, on our podcast, I say the F word more than other words, so I'm going to start trying to diversify my curse words. God damn it.
There we go.
So the goddamn.
You yelled at me for saying "God damn it" too much last episode.
Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit.
Hey, look at what you just did.
Shit. Okay. They did show a game I was very excited for, and I figured out what it was about halfway through the trailer. Because at first it shows a little rat walking around, like, seeing things. And, like, you realize you're a rat a little bit if you're, like, walking around.
Oh, yeah.
Some shit going on. Then...
I was like, yes, a game where you can play as a rat. I swear.
I literally thought that was the same thing. I was like, what is interesting? Then what it shows is some people getting in a scuffle. They're like, oh, what's going on? And you hear some noises. This, like, shelving, this metal shelving falls on you, and then you just see the rat dead. I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
fucking phone decided to be an asshole. Then all of a sudden it cuts to like a zombie eating a dude, and you're like, what's happening? And then it cuts to a beautiful light brown / blonde, dirty blonde guy with a Jonathan Taylor Thomas part in his hair.
You want to tell us
Yeah.
the name of this?
Okay, I
gentleman?
will. And he's wearing an RPD uniform. If you're familiar with RPD, like I am, it stands for
Raccoon.
Shut the fuck up, Fred. It stands for Raccoon Police Department. And who you are looking at is the beautiful, sexy man known as Leon Kennedy, a.k.a. my favorite Resident Evil fucking character. And it's a remake from the ground up of Resident Evil fucking 2, which looks amazing.
Yes.
That was the
One of the
highlight.
best Resident Evils of all time.
That was a highlight of PlayStation Z3 to me. Then they showed Death Stranding, which Death Stranding looks great.
Looks great.
It looks like a great game. And I watched the gameplay of it. I watched everything. I watched the trailer twice. I watched the gameplay and trailer twice. I still have no idea what the fuck is happening. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
There's a baby in a tank. There's some weird shadow things. There's Norman Reedus. He's like trying to take things from one place to another. The gameplay looks cool.
He's naked a lot.
He has his shirt off a decent amount. There's these things. They look creepy. Some other stuff's happening. There's some people. The things are happening. Things are going wrong. Things are eating them or something. I don't know. Have no idea what the fuck it is. But it's the new Kojima game, and so I'm very excited for it. And I just realized yesterday that it's a PlayStation exclusive. I didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
Neither did I. Also, just to let you know, Sean Layden went to University of Notre Dame. So, there's that.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You take it as take it as the way you would take it.
All right.
I will also say that Death Stranding we still don't have a release date for it, I don't believe. So I'm just kind of like...
Oh, speaking of release dates, Resident Evil remake, January 25th, 2019.
See, they at least gave us a trailer, reveal, and release date. Capcom, when it comes
6
to Resident
months.
Evil, they're like, we know what we're doing. Because they did the same thing with Resident Evil 7. They're like, it's coming out in 6 or 7 months.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2 years ago. I remember that. The Resident Evil trailers have been great about reveals. Because you don't think you're watching a Resident Evil trailer, and then you're just like, oh, this is some good shit. And I hope that whatever happens with Resident Evil 2 is like the future of the franchise. Because it looks like it's a little bit mixed between Resident Evil 7 and playstyle of the old games. So, I don't know. We'll see. Finally, after Death Stranding, which again looks great, looks amazing. I don't know what the fuck it is, but whatever. We got the Spider-Man, which Sony for the second year in a row has closed their press conference with the Spider-Man game from Insomniac, which looks great, but I'm kind of like
Spider-Man.
But either way, I'm like
Spider-Man.
Anyway, I don't understand it because I'm like, I get it. It's going to be a great game. I'm so excited for it. It's one of my most anticipated games of this year, but you've now utilized the closing section of your panel for 2 years in a row on a franchise game, a license.
Right.
It just seems odd to me. Because and then I was thinking,
Spider-Man has represented Sony for a long time.
I get it. I understand what you're saying. Like, of course, yes. But it was just an interesting move to me. Like, I would have much rather seen Death Stranding kind of close the show out. I mean, I don't know. The gameplay looks great for that. I mean, that's another game. It sells itself. It's going to be a great game. But I was thinking, okay, well, they're showing this. There's going to be one big reveal. Maybe they'll show like the Final Fantasy VII remake, something, because we haven't seen anything from that in 3 fucking years when it was announced.
Yeah,
and there's been nothing.
We haven't
since.
even gotten there yet.
Ugh, Jesus Christ. We'll get to that in a second.
So, a quick thing about Spider-Man is the impact of the moves is awesome. The particle effects in this game are like next level. But one thing that I thought was really funny was, first of all, sorry, what's the name of the villain in this game?
There's a bunch of different villains.
The main guy
in the suit. I don't fucking remember. Like, he's not
Mr. Yin Yang.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something I've never really heard of him before, and I'm a big
Mr. Yin Yang twins. So in the last few trailers that we've seen of this game, that's I think the only villain that you see. But then in this one, you see it a bunch, and they're all
you see a lot of the Sinister Six. Yeah,
from the Spider-Man universe. So like that kind of was like, okay, cool. Like this is gonna be like actual Spider-Man shit too, because I thought it was gonna be like